Hey guys, it's Jasper, and today I'm going to be reading Chapter 3 of The Princess and the Goblin. Now, pairing with today's story, I am going to be drinking, I almost said reading, and that's not right, drinking something that's not coffee. Instead, I'm having some honey lemon tea because it is so cold outside and I know it's winter time, but I'm just missing the sun and I thought some lemon would kind of zip me up a bit, so we'll see. As always, pour yourself something yummy to drink. Relax, enjoy, and cheers. The Princess, and we shall see who. Chapter 3. When she came to the top, she found herself in a little square place with 3 doors, 2 opposite each other, and 1 opposite the top of the stair. She stood for a moment without an idea in her little head what to do next. But as she stood, she began to hear a curious humming sound. Could it be the rain? No. It was much more gentle, even monotonous, than the sound of the rain, which now she scarcely heard. The low, sweet humming sound went on, sometimes stopping for a little while and then beginning again. It was more like the hum of a very happy bee that had found a rich well of honey in some globular flower than anything else I can think of at this moment. Where could it come from? She laid her ear first to one of the doors to hearken if it was there, then to another. When she laid her ear against the 3rd door, there could be no doubt where it came from. It must be from something in that room. What could it be? She was rather afraid, but her curiosity was stronger than her fear, and she opened the door, very gently, and peeped in. What do you think she saw? A very old lady, sitting and spinning. Perhaps you will wonder how the princess could tell that the old lady was an old lady, when I inform you that not only was she beautiful, but her skin was smooth and white. I will tell you more. Her hair was combed back from her forehead and face and hung loose far down and all over her back. That is not much like an old lady, is it? But it was white, almost as snow. And although her face was so smooth, her eyes looked so wise that you could not have helped seeing she must be old. The princess, though she could not have told you why, did think her very old indeed. Quite 50, she said to herself. But she was rather older than that, as you shall hear. While the princess stared bewildered, with her head just inside the door, the old lady lifted hers and said in a sweet but old and rather shaky voice, which mingled very pleasantly with the continued hum of her wheel, "Come in, my dear, come in. I am glad to see you." That the princess was a real princess you might see now quite plainly, for she didn't hang onto the handle of the door and stare without moving, as I have known some to do. She did as she was told, stepped inside the door at once and shut it gently behind her. "Come to me, my dear," said the old lady. And again the princess did as she was told. She approached the old lady rather slowly, I confess, but did not stop until she stood by her side and looked up in her face with the blue eyes and 2 melted stars in them. "Why, what have you been doing with your eyes, child?" asked the old lady. "Crying," answered the princess. "Why, child?" "Because I couldn't find my way down again." "But you could find your way up." "Not at first, not for a long time." "But your face is streaked like the back of a zebra. Hadn't you a handkerchief to wipe your eyes with?" "No." "Then why didn't you come to me to wipe them for you?" Please, I didn't know you were here. I will next time. There's a good child," said the old lady. Then she stopped her wheel and rose, and going out of the room returned with a little silver basin and a soft white towel, with which she washed and wiped the bright little face, and the princess thought her hands were so smooth and nice. When she carried away the basin and towel, the little princess wondered to see how straight and tall she was, for although she was so old, she didn't stoop a bit. She was dressed in black velvet with thick, white, heavy-looking lace about it, and on the black dress her hair shone like silver. There was hardly any more furniture in the room than there might have been in that of the poorest old woman who made her bread by spinning. There was no carpet on the floor, no table anywhere, nothing but the spinning wheel and the chair beside it. When she came back down, she sat down again, and without a word began her spinning once more, while Irene, who had never seen a spinning wheel, stood by her side and looked on. When the old lady had succeeded in getting her thread fairly in operation again, she said to the princess, but without looking at her, "Do you know my name, child?" "No, I don't know it," answered the princess. "My name is Irene." "That's my name!" cried the princess. "I know that. I let you have mine. I haven't got your name. You've got mine." "How can that be?" asked the princess, bewildered. "I've always had my name." "Your papa, the king, asked me if I had any objection to your having it, and of course I hadn't. I let you have it with pleasure." "It was very kind of you to give me your name, and such a pretty one," said the princess. "Oh, not so very kind," said the old lady. "A name is one of those things you can give away and keep all the same. I have a good many such things. Wouldn't you like to know who I am, child?" "Yes, that I should very much." "I am your great-great-grandmother," said the lady. "What's that?" asked the princess. "I am your father's mother's father's mother." "Oh dear, I cannot understand that," said the princess. "I dare say not. I didn't expect you would, but that's no reason why I shouldn't say it." "Oh no," answered the princess. "I will explain it all to you when you are older," the lady went on, "but you will be able to understand this much now. I came here to take care of you." "Is it long since you came? Was it yesterday or was it today, because it was so wet that I couldn't get out?" "I've been here ever since you came yourself." "What a long time," said the princess. "I don't remember it at all." "No, I suppose not." "But I never saw you before." "No, but you shall see me again." "Do you live in this room always?" "I don't sleep in it. I sleep on the opposite side of the landing. I sit here most of the day." "I shouldn't like it. My nursery is much prettier. You must be a queen too, if you are my great big grandmother." "Yes, I am a queen." "Where is your crown then?" "In my bedroom." "I should like to see it." "You shall, some day." "I wonder why Nursey never told me." "Nursey doesn't know. She never saw me." "But somebody knows you're in the house." "No, nobody." "How do you get your dinner then?" "I keep poultry, of a sort." "Where do you keep them?" "I will show you." "And who makes the chicken broth for you?" "Well, I never kill any of my chickens." "Then I can't understand." "What did you have for breakfast this morning?" "Oh, I had bread and milk and an egg." "I dare say. You eat their eggs." "Yes, that's it. I eat their eggs." "Is that what makes your hair so white?" "No, my dear, it's old age. I am very old." "I thought so. Are you 50? "Yes, more than that." "Are you 100? "Yes, more than that." "I am too old for you to guess. Come and see my chickens." Again she stopped her spinning. She rose, took the princess by the hand, led her out of the room, and opened the door opposite the stair. The princess expected to see a lot of hens and chickens, but instead of that she saw the blue sky first, and then the roofs of the house with a multitude of the loveliest pigeons, mostly white, but of all colors, walking and making bows to each other and taking a language she could not understand. She clapped her hands with delight, and up rose such a flapping of wings that she in turn was startled. "You've frightened my poultry," said the old lady, smiling. "And they have frightened me," said the princess, smiling too. "But what very nice poultry! Are the eggs very nice?" "Yes, very." "What a small egg spoon you must have. Wouldn't it be better to keep hens and bigger eggs?" "How should I feed them, though?" "I see," said the princess. "The pigeons feed themselves. They've got wings." "Just so. If they couldn't fly, I couldn't eat their eggs." "But how do you get at the eggs? Where are the nests?" The lady took a hold of a little loop of string in the wall at the side of the door, and lifting a shutter showed a great many pigeonholes with nests, some with very young ones and some with eggs in them. The birds came in at the other side. Then she took the eggs out on this side. She closed it again quickly, lest the young ones should be frightened. "Oh, what a nice way," cried the princess. "Will you give me an egg to eat? I'm very hungry." "I will some day, but now you must go back to Nursey, or she'll be miserable about you. I dare say she's looking for you everywhere." "Except here," answered the princess. "Oh, how surprised she will be when I tell her about my great big grandmother." "Yes, that she will," said the old lady with a curious smile. "Mind, you tell her about it exactly." "That I will. Please, will you take me back to her?" "I can't go all the way, but I will take you to the top of the stair, and then you must run down quite fast into your own room." The little princess put her hand in the old lady's, whose looking this way and that brought her to the top of the first stair, and thence to the bottom of the second, and did not leave her till she saw her halfway down the third. When she heard the cry of her nurse's pleasure at finding her, she turned and walked up the stairs again, very fast indeed for such a great, very great grandmother, and sat down to her spinning with another strange smile on her sweet old face. About this spinning of hers, I will tell you more next time. Guess what she was spinning. So I'd like to start with something fairly simple, but I think also fairly lovely today. And that is a line from the very beginning of the chapter. She was afraid, but her curiosity was stronger. And I think that this is a lovely thing because it is something that I need to do more. I need to, more often, follow my desire, my curiosity, rising still on steps of uncertainty, going forward with what I'm not entirely sure of. Now, this isn't saying that you should always step forward without a plan. I am a big believer in plans, in making lists, in scheduling things out. But I am also a believer in there is a time for everything. And so, just as there is a time to make plans and schedule every step forward, there is also a time to step forward without a plan. The other thing I want to talk about today is the character of Irene's great-great-grandmother, because I just love her, and love for a particular reason, one that is showcased in this chapter, and that is her language is ambiguous. Many times Irene asks her a question that she doesn't always directly answer. Instead, she diverts her question to somewhere else. Instead of answering specifically about this, she answers something about the general area of what was being asked. Sometimes she tells her straightforward, this is something you can't understand right now, or this is not for right now, or I will tell you, but later, or you will see this, but not now. And this is wonderful, because very often we want to know things right now. We want to see things right now. We want it right now. For myself, if I have questions about something, I research, I Google, I search out, I am talking to my friends, I'm asking anyone I can to try to find the answers. But sometimes the answer is something you can't have right now. An easy example I found for myself is with my own reading habits. Very often there have been books that I read in high school or at the beginning of my undergrad, and I sort of wrote them off as books that weren't for me, books I didn't enjoy, books that were stupid, without purpose or point. But then I found, as I got older, and I reread the titles and considered the author's words once more, that I had been mistaken. The thing the author was trying to communicate was just going right over my head. And that it was either because I hadn't read enough, I hadn't lived enough, I hadn't experienced the particular stage of life in which the character was talking about. In the very little bit of life that I have lived, I have learned in the world of books that very often a book isn't always bad, it was just not for me in that moment. And so I assume there are many other things that are not for me in this moment. I'd like to leave you with 2 bits that I'm going to try and challenge myself with. Let your curiosity be stronger than your fear. And understand that not everything is for right now. As always, I hope whatever you've been drinking has been good, that the story and commentary have been a fair match. Cheers, and and with that, we'll just la la la.